Welcome, Victor. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. How you doing, Kamga?
Man, this is exciting. I've been waiting for this interview all week because there's so many questions that I want to ask, so many things that I'm curious about. Like your channel, your book, what Growing Wealth Passively. I've learned so much from watching and reading and finding out things about you, and I'm sure many people are going to enjoy that. So there should be people showing up at some point, but even if they don't show up, for me alone, thank you very much for accepting to do this conversation with me.
You're very welcome.
All right, awesome. I found out first that you're an electrical engineer, second that you're in Canada. And I mean, when I find people who are doing a lot of, investing content, talking about building wealth and all that, I always just have this mindset of these are people who maybe work in the financial area or, or Americans who are very interested in the stock market. It's very rare to find a Cameroonian who talks as openly as you do about building wealth, creating content and doing it actively. Like you're both investing in stocks and creating content about investing in stock at the same time. And what I would like to start with now is if somebody showed up here and you don't know who Victor was, how would you describe yourself? What is your story so far from, not knowing about money to this particular point where you're not only teaching, you're writing books and you're doing that with a full-time job, I suppose. So tell us, who is Victor? Victor Eboa.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, so my name is Victor Eboa. I'm here in the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. I'm an electrical engineer. And most people, when they look and they're like, why is an electrical engineer so interested or talking about money? So that brings us to the point where after you've taken all this formal education, you have tuition, you have time. Just my program was 4 years plus another 1 year for, management and stuff. Wouldn't it be so nice to know how to manage your money?
Sounds like it is. Yeah. And how did you end up in electrical engineering? Like how did you end up there? Because I've been able to go through different programs. Like I finished my degree in journalism. Before that, I did medical laboratory science and dropped out. Before that, I did biochemistry and dropped out. So my journey was very strange. So I'd like to find out, what was your journey like that? How did you end up in electrical engineering and then find yourself in Canada?
Okay, good. That's a very good point. So after graduation, after my high school, I went to University of Yaoundé where I started doing physics and maths. And at that time, it was called Ngwakele,
Yeah.
So the way it was is everything in the science section was completely in French. And me coming from Limbe, I was kind of handicapped with French. So I was learning French and learning maths and physics on the same time to be able to succeed.
Wow.
All the professors were French professors. In the university, the professor normally goes on which language you prefer or which language you know best. So it was very complex. Most of my friends dropped out, some went abroad and stuff like that. So I left in that first year level, went back to the province. I was now teaching in some evening classes. I remember I taught in Kulu Memorial.
What were you teaching?
I was teaching physics. I was teaching physics in high school. So just imagine, I graduated high school. The next year, I started teaching physics in high school. And then I was teaching chemistry and maths in secondary school, O-level. O-level chemistry and maths. High school, I was teaching physics. So I had all this science and this mentality in me. So when I came to Canada, good and fine, I found a job in the telecommunication field. When I came in here in 1999, 2000, telecom was booming.
That's what you came to Canada in 1999.
Yeah, I came to
I was 9 years old.
Oh wow! And now look at you interviewing me.
Well, and how did you come to Canada? Was it a scholarship? Was it a trip? Like how did you end up there?
Yeah, I actually came through a seminar linked up with education.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so linked up with education. So when I came in, as you know, before you get into higher learning, you need to start paying for your tuition. So I took the part of working first, raise money for your tuition before going back to school. So I started working in the telecommunication field. I worked with ClearNet. I worked with Telos. And while I was working in the telecommunication field, I realized that, okay, it was like a kind of a technical support or data technical analyst.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds very physics, math oriented. Like, what is a typical day for somebody like that, for the kind of job that you were doing?
Oh, a typical day is you troubleshoot network, telecom network, both phone lines. At that time, we have phones and cell phones. You troubleshoot the infrastructure. You can be talking to field service technician, or you can be talking to people whose phone are not working. So you do troubleshooting.
Okay, so you come to Canada. You do the first part before getting to the college. No, isn't college? Is it called college in Canada? I have no idea. You do that. You start working, and then where do you go next from there? From getting that experience, hands-on on the ground.
Yeah, so from there I realized that some people were coming in because I worked there for a couple of years, 3 years, and I got some experience. So I was kind of a senior in my department. But I realized that new reps were coming in. After a couple of years, they might move to a different department, which is better than the department that I am.
What? Why?
Yeah, but not that's what comes into place. Some of them have like an IT diploma, or some of them have something to show for.
Oh.
So I checked with one of the senior guys in our community, and one guy said, "Oh, those people are moving up because they have a degree or a diploma."
Ah, yeah, they're qualified.
So that made me started thinking. I'm like, with all this knowledge in me, I'm not just gonna stay like this. So first, I enrolled in a college for a 1-year program. I took a diploma in telecom, graduated. That was not enough. I look at it, I'm like, what else? Telecom is, when you look at telecom is a minor in electrical engineering. So the powerhouse now is electrical engineering. So after that, I said, you know what? Time is not on my side. Let me pursue it right away. I enrolled Rice University Electrical Engineering.
How old were you at the time when you enrolled?
How old was I at that time?
Yeah.
Oh, that time I came here when I was over, I think I was early 30s at that time. Yeah, early 30s when I enrolled.
That's really inspiring, because there are people who usually think that by the time they reach 30, like I'm one of those people who think that when I'm 30, like I'm done. Like, what have I done with my life? But your story basically, I mean, at that point, you hadn't even started doing what I know you for now, like, talking and sharing and all that. So I'm just looking at how much you were able to do at this quote unquote advanced. It's not even advanced. Like, people always think that 30 is too old to start doing anything.
No, not at all. The fun is that you remember when we were back home, our parents were paying our fees, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't take school serious. But now you are facing the reality of life. You are looking and like, if I don't do this, I'm not going to move. Do you think, just imagine someone teaching physics, further math in high school, and then you end up just with a technical diploma when some of your students are there with degree. I said, no, it's not me. I'm going to elevate myself.
Yeah. So you get to...
I went back, Rice University and U of T. Rice University came right away. They said, when everything looks good with your, your curriculum, coming for a math and physics test. When they said that, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do it.
Like, this is my language.
Anytime somebody takes me towards maths or physics, that's it, you're gone. I just went there. I went there with some of my friends, some Ethiopian friends, all of us immigrants, and they were like, because we had like 2 days to prepare. So when we were preparing, they realized that I was so eloquent when it comes to maths. They were like, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, this is the book, read it. We have to write the exam. So I nailed it, and then I got admitted, and the rest was history. Graduated, now working as an application engineer.
Wow. So you eventually moved on. Like, just to, it's so fascinating. Like, you look at your environment, you see people who are going ahead of you, and other people will be like envious or jealous or say, no, it's because I'm black or it's because I'm inexperienced. Well, you're like, wait, how are they different from me? And somebody tells you, well, they have the qualification, you don't. And next, you go get the qualification and then you fulfill the idea. So it's almost this correlation between getting the qualification of what you want and then doing the job. So I think that's a good lesson to learn about your story. I really appreciate that. And when I was reading and doing my research about you, I found out that reading Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of those moments. And another book, I think there's another book by John Bogle or Jay Bogle, I've forgotten, that gave you an understanding. And, of course, you did your own research and everything. And what I know you for on YouTube is talking about the stock market, talking about how to build income and business and growing. And so what I want to find out now is, how did you come across this information? And then when did it click that it should be something that you should get into, including your already existing electrical engineering job? Like, how do you do those two?
Okay, good. That's a good point. So just like as I was mentioned, after all this formal education, all the time spent, won't you want to keep your money? The first time I started learning about investment was when I was working with tellers. I raised money. I raised almost $5,000. So I went to the bank that I want to invest this money. And they gave me two options. You either go with mutual funds or you go with a GIC.
What's
GIC in Canada is Guaranteed Investment Certificate. It's like a high-level savings account.
Is it like a bond? No, okay, high-level. Okay.
It's like what you guys in the US, no, it's not a bond.
It's not a bond.
It's just a high-level savings account, like what you guys call a CD.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So with mutual fund, they told me that it's very risky, and then the guy told me at the side that you can make money and you can lose everything. So that got me so scared. How can I lose 5,000? My first 5,000 that I made, how can I lose everything? Are you kidding me? So that started resonating in my head. They said you can make some money, you can lose everything. And then they said with GIC, you can make just 2%. I'm like, 2% is too small. So I went back at work, I met some of my colleagues, and then I asked them about mutual fund. They're like, oh, mutual fund is the stock market. You have to be very knowledgeable about the stock market. I'm like, really? They're like, no, don't even go there if you don't know about it. They said you can choose a less volatile or a high volatile, but if anything's happened, it can still affect it. Your money can still go down.
Yeah.
So now I started saying, okay, there are some people making it. Why not me? That's when I started my research in financial education.
Yeah.
The first book that they introduced me to was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, who still by now is still my mentor, Robert Kiyosaki. After I read that book, that's where my eyes opened. He talked about a rich dad and Rich Dad Poor Dad. One of them was like a graduate PhD. The other was a technical diploma. But what happened? It was the reverse. The technical diploma becomes the richest because it was investing in real estate, oil wells, bond. The PhD guy was just trying to climb the corporate ladder. And anytime you ask the rich guy, I need something, he'll be like, I cannot afford it. That's too expensive. That's the PhD. Anytime you ask the diploma, I need a shoes, I need something. It's like, oh, how can we afford it?
Yeah.
And now he will find a way to afford it. So then he also talked about how some elite class of people, the way they educate their kids about finance while they're growing up. While some of us, we don't even educate our kids.
Money is such a scary topic in many African homes. I feel like you're not even allowed to mention how much you make, what you're thinking about money, what your plans are. There's never enough money. Money is almost a taboo topic. Like, it's always that scarcity mindset of, why are you talking about money? That don't talk about money. It's like religion. And it's something that's the reason why I was attracted to your content, because there are a lot of people that I watch, whether it's people like Andre Jik on YouTube or this new guy that I found called Cash College. Many people who talk about money are usually Western, European, or people who look like they were born into money, or at least they've learned already. I've hardly seen Cameroonians specifically. I'm sure there are people. I mean, the internet is vast, but I've hardly seen Cameroonians who talk about money as openly as you do. And it's something that I'm very much interested in. And finding out, you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you learned about this, you invested yourself in education. What do you remember the first trade you made?
Oh, the first
yeah. The first time you were like, okay, this is going to work. Like you put in the money and you saw it growing and you were like this, or the moment when you thought this is actually going to be a good investment for me to delve into more. Do you remember how it felt like?
Oh yeah, I remember. It was Coca-Cola. First of all, after I knew about the stock market, I registered for Robert Kiyosaki's workshop. So I was trained. I actually took Robert Kiyosaki's workshop. That's why you see.
You invested in your education. Yeah.
When I talked about the stock market, I talk with confidence because it's in my fingertips. So the first trade I had, I bought Coca-Cola when Coca-Cola was like $36. That's a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It moved. Then at that time, they were teaching us when you come in, try to invest in blue chips. Don't go with volatile stocks.
What are blue chips?
Oh, blue chip companies are companies that have already proven their worth.
Okay.
You know, in the stock market, before you buy a company, you have to evaluate the company. The way the stock market works is that you are buying a piece of a company. And for you to make money, the company have to make money. So blue chips companies are like the Microsoft, the Amazon right now, companies that you don't even need to check their assets anymore. They are already profitable. So when you invest in those companies, you are giving yourself less work to do because they're going to succeed either ways. Coca-Cola was in existence before I was born, before my great-grandfather was born, before my great-grandfather
and you'll be here probably when we all go.
You'll be here. Yes, so I don't even have to doubt Coca-Cola. So I bought Coca-Cola first, and then boom, it moved to $40 after I bought it. And at that time, I bought like how many? I bought like just 10. Just imagine I made $4 for that 10. That was about $40 in just.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. I'm like, wow, this is magic. You open your account and then you just see money and you're like surprised. Because mutual funds, somebody will manage it for you. You don't really see how it works. You just go in once a while. But when you buy it yourself on a stock platform, you see it yourself. And that's where the money is, because you pay no commission to anybody. You do it yourself.
And one thing that I have to add is that in your book, you talk extensively about this. I mean, it's a small book with a lot of knowledge that I really appreciate. And even on your channel, you've been doing a lot of teaching people how to do this and explain that. And one question that I had that I wanted to ask you very specifically was Cameroonians who are watching right now, because you teach about business, you don't talk about the stock market. But I'm curious to find out if there's a stock market in Cameroon or if Cameroonians can participate in to invest in stocks. Is this something that is possible, or it's mostly relegated to like people who are out of the country who can really access things? Like I'm in the US now and I'm currently on Robinhood. I've invested some money and I see it growing as well. So I'm just curious, do Cameroonians have access to being able to invest in stocks in any place?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You see, when you invest in the stock market, you want to invest in a stock exchange which is mandated. When I say mandated, which means there are strict rules and regulations. And you see, when we invest here in Canada and the US, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, Toronto Stock Exchange, they are all mandated by the Security Exchange Commission.
Yeah, SEC.
If a company provides you a financial statement which is incorrect, you can report them to the SEC and they can be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I have friends in Cameroon who are investing in the US, TD Ameritrade, who are investing in Toronto Questrade in Canada. So these are international brokers. You can deal with international brokers. However, if you have confidence in dollar stock exchange, by all means, you can go through your bank as a platform to buy shares of companies in that.
You see, this is something that I did not think about. I always just felt like if you're not in America, if you're not in the country, on the territory itself, then you'll not be able to invest. But clearly, anybody can actually do this from anywhere in the world. I think.
That's correct.
Except maybe North Korea. So you get into investment and you build, and I've seen you have a number of courses. Like when I was doing the research to come by, I was like, this guy has been creating content. Like you were telling me before we started, he's like, Kamga, you're a good writer. Why don't you write a book? You have written a book. And guys, by the way, if you're watching this, First thing, like the video. Second thing, share it. And I'm going to be giving away one copy for somebody who has access to Amazon just for being participated. So leave comments. I'll pick somebody randomly and then send a copy of the book because I think it's very valuable information. So, Victor, thank you first of all for that introduction and letting us know your story up to this particular point. It feels like you came to this country. I mean, you came to Canada, you climbed up the ladder, you got, both your diploma, your job, and started investing in the stock market and started growing from Coca-Cola, getting that first, I guess, is a dopamine hit of growth. And then you've been doing it for a long time. And just, I'm curious, how many years have you been investing regularly and consistently?
Oh, that's good. That's a very good point. Just think about this. I missed 2008.
Oh, the recession.
Yeah, I missed it. And that was when my knowledge was still kind of shaky. I was still Then around 2010, that's when I solidified my knowledge again. So I took Robert Kiyosaki's workshop twice. The first time he had some of his representative doing the workshop, and then he came in towards the end. So I didn't have too much time to ask the one-on-one question.
Yeah.
The second time, which they gave me a discount, when I came in, he was there. That's when I approached this guy face to face. And I'm like, what does it make to make it? What does it mean to make it in the investment world? Because I've read a lot about him. I also read the book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. One of my first videos, I talk about the layers of income sources, the making money.
Yeah,
and that's a very popular video.
Yes.
It's a replica of Cash Flow Quadrant.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
So when I approached this guy and I said, what does it mean to make it in the investment world? So this guy is like, he called me son. He's like, son, so what do you do for a living? I said, so proud, I'm an electrical engineer. Oh, he said, really? He said, do you know I'm a marine engineer? I said, yes, I saw it in your book. He said, but do you know what I did with my degree? He said, I just keep it in the wall in my office. I've never practiced. I'm like, why? It's like, don't you see how I am right now with oil wells and hotels? If I was doing that, I would be stuck in the corporate ladder. And you know what? So I'm like, so what is, then he said something, he said, don't get yourself trapped in that degree cocoon. I'm there sitting like, I have to pay my tuition, first of all, my student loan. And
loans.
I'm like, so how do I start? He said, just go and figure it out.
It's like, wait, he just comes and drops this bomb to you and says, go and figure it out.
And, if it was that, because I came here alone, like, I'm the first kid, I came here, I knew nobody in the country. Yeah. So if I had like my parents or uncle where I could even, because there's no way you can just get into investment without any emergency fund, without something to start.
Yeah.
You already have rent to pay, your apartment, you're already in the system.
Insurance, all these things, yeah.
So what he told me that time did not really make sense. Like, how am I going to get into investment right away, even if I'm going to take a loan?
Yeah.
There has to be a path. So from that 2010, where everything solidified, 2011, 2012, that's when I started getting deep into the stock market. So I was getting to close to 10 years. We are 2020, right? So getting to 8, 9, 10 years into the stock market.
Yeah, and usually there are two sides of people. I'm just thinking how long 10 years is to be putting money on a regular basis, and just imagine the growth. Because I started investing after just March, like just recently when everything went down. That's when my wife and I got into investment and trying to figure out Robinhood and watch videos and learn. And I took a couple of courses as well, which I now, when you say you have to take a second time, I have to take those courses twice, and maybe I'll be investing your course, because I started understanding, oh, this is what I should do, this is how I should do it. Like, one thing, like the first platform that you talk about, the first layer of wealth, getting a job, like a source of income, that is your first level. And people don't realize that if you want to start making money, the first thing you need to do is the easiest one, which is get a job. Like, people think, oh, passion, build this business. I mean, I'm one of those people who's always thinking like that, like, let me take my passion and just do it. But having a job is a sure way to have a source of income that you can then use to invest, to grow, and to do other things. And so I'm curious to find out how you're able to balance your full-time job and your investment interest, and also you're a content creator and you write books and you make courses. Like, how do you do all of these things without burning out? Because you look very fresh. It looks like you're just having fun.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So first of all, your education is always in you. It will grow in you anywhere you go. You can be good in investing, you can be good in business, but what happens if things doesn't go well? Because life is not all that glamorous. You will always bounce back to your education. That's why I see right now when you go to Wall Street, you go to Bay Street, you see teenagers, 29 years old, that are already in stock, 27, they're driving Porsche, Lamborghini, because they are making it big, but forgetting to know that they need an education. And that's why the stock market is not in colleges or university. Because when kids get grab of the stock market at an early age, trust me, they will not graduate. That's why they took it out the curriculum.
But isn't it the point to make, if you make enough money in the stock market, why would you want to go to school? Like, I'm just to understand, when you say education helps you bounce back, if you're able to make enough money to pay for your bills and do everything, why would you want to go to college? I'm just playing devil's advocate, but I also believe it somewhat.
What about if some of those teenagers are just referred by friends? Because sometimes your level in the stock market depends on who introduced you in the stock market.
Okay.
Some of them might come in the stock market without good knowledge, and they might make a couple of $1,000. And when the stock market starts grabbing you, it's like they will ask you your Newman tax. That's when you become so embarrassed, because you can make 500, 1,000, you can even make up to 10,000. But without knowledge of the stock market, when it starts pulling back, it will start pulling back when you start investing 20,000, 30,000. And just imagine, you've made all that amount, 20, 30,000, and then it sucks up all that 20,000. And then you drop back down to start again from
scratch. Yeah.
And that's when people learn. A lot of people learn after they've been sucked up by the stock market. That's when they start thinking, this seems to be a little bit dangerous. Let me dig deep. That's when they realize that, they didn't have the good education or half education. Half education in the stock market is a recipe of disaster. It's even the worst. It's better you don't know. Because if you don't know, you know you are just guessing. Have you ever played lottery and lose a lot of money and then you are embarrassed to tell your friends?
I actually played Paris foot in Cameroon once, the first time I won, and I started getting confident, like, I know how to do this thing. And then the next 2-3 times I lost all the money, I was like, I'm not touching this again.
Cool. That's what happens in the stock market, because you'll be ashamed to tell people.
Yeah.
Because when you tell them, and then if you talk to someone who knows the stock market and then they realize that you don't have any education, somebody just referred you, they just tell you buy Amazon and you buy Facebook and you buy. It's so embarrassing that it makes a fool of yourself.
Yeah, because then you cannot see companies. For example, the video that you made, that one of the videos that caught my attention was when you were sharing how you were able to make $7,000 in one night on Tesla. Was it? No, Nikola. Yeah, Nikola. And one thing that is clear there, first of all, there was your enthusiasm of how much you're able to make. And then it's like you're able to stay with this cool level head, like this cool levelness. And that's what I'm curious to know. Like, at this particular point, after 10 years of investing in the stock market, I'm just assuming that it's possible for you to be able to live only with your dividends. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen your portfolio. You don't have to share it here with me. But I'm just curious, what is keeping you still doing the job that you're doing now? Because I have a feeling, and maybe I'm wrong, that if you actually put all your energy in the stock market, you'll be able to just coast and keep growing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. They always say that money is not enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to have more, and you want to have more. First, I'm passionate about my job, and the time that I spend and the tuition that I spend, it looks like I've not ripped everything off from my career.
You have to get your investment
out of it. That's one of it.
Okay.
And then the next point is that there are people who decide to go full time in the stock market, where there are different strategies of trading. There's day trading, there is trend trading, there is long term, and there is swing trading. So people who go full time, they do all four. Right now, I do mostly trend trading, where I look at the market, I know there is a potential, and I hit. I do long term, I do trend trading. So at this point in time, I'm still building up that portfolio to become so confident that I depend on dividend. Look about it, I don't invest too much on dividend. Dividend to me, I look at it like something to pay bills. Because if I put money somewhere and every 3 months they give me just 2% of that, 3% of that, is just to pay bills. What I look for is a growth, capital growth, which is I invest 7,000 and I sell for 30,000 and I make 23,000. That's what I do, I emphasize on. So that's the reason why I'm still toggling between.
And I'm sure you teach. Can you give us a brief overview of your course? Because I think when you're saying right now, somebody watching is like, okay, that sounds like very interesting and also very complicated. So I want to know, are these things that you teach in your course that people can have access to? Like, what is like an overview of the course that you already have existing, and where can they find this course online if they have to?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point. So you can find my course. You can go to my website, www.veunivers.com.
Yeah.
Or you can, they can even contact you and you can link them up.
Yep. That is a start.
Wow, interesting. That's my website. So you can just go to the course.
Yeah, it's right there. So don't hesitate to go and check and see and find out, what you can learn from me. I think it's valuable. I invest in courses all the time. Like a lot of my money goes into books, into courses, into things that will allow me to be able to learn and grow. And I think it's something that people don't realize. When we talk about that education, I believe so much in education, in learning, and it's just that I believe in learning by myself, which sometimes doesn't work very great. But for people like me, it helps. I tend to teach myself and figure things out. And it looks like you said, they took out the stock market of the curriculum. Like nobody teaches the stock market anywhere in any college. And I want to find out from you, if during your journey as someone investing in the stock market, learning about business and making money, have there been moments when you felt like this was a bad idea? Maybe this was not something that you should be doing, any doubts, any times where you thought maybe you've beaten more than you could chew?
Okay, good. Yeah, to be honest with you, when I realized, or when I was at the point of starting mutual fund, and then I realized how the commission fee works and how it's difficult to make money because it is volatile, you can lose money. And then when you make money, a chunk or 3 to 5% of what you make is going to the financial planner. No disrespect about the financial planner. What tried to pull me down was, if I don't have enough knowledge, I will not temper into this field. So my challenge was to get that knowledge. And at one point I was so scared, because people just give you vague information. They don't give you the hardcore. They don't give you the hardcore. So my only challenge was that if I don't get the right information, I will not even temper, because I don't like losing money. If you're someone who knows me, I don't like losing. I've never gambled in my life. Never gambled in my life. I've never, like, how you borrow money or you take loan from your friend and then you pay with interest. I've never done all those things. Yeah. I either get my money, keep it, it works for me a little bit, and then I do whatever I want. I cut my coat according to my size.
Yeah.
I always cut my coat according to my size. So the education was the prime. I knew I have to get that education before I get into any investment venture. And as I got that, that's when I exploded. Again, talking about my course, I made the course that someone with no prior knowledge, if you knew nothing about stocks, we don't know what are stocks, where to buy stocks, the stock trading platforms, where to open an account, or if you're with Forex before, or if you're doing cryptocurrency, you have no idea. I brought everything back on. It is a 4 to 5 day session. So 4 to 5 day session is the workshop, but the course, you can just take it online. It's 10 section. And what I inflict in people is what I call the elephant skin. Because when we talk about the stock market, there are 3 things that people always think. First, Warren Buffett, which is one of the richest people in the world, which is good. And that's why I followed the stock market, because I follow the winning team. I'm not.
It's Berkeley Hathaway, right? His company.
They say in French, on the change party,
Keep going.
Warren Buffett was winning. I had to follow that path. Warren Buffett, Kelvin O'Leary, Damon John, all the guys from Shark Tank, they were in the stock market.
Yeah.
So why would I go to Forex or cryptocurrency when I've never heard that any rich person in the world is doing? So I knew that was why I went there. And the second thing about the stock market is Warren Buffett, you can make money and you can also lose money. So there is a positive approach and a negative approach. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, talking about Warren Buffett, I'm thinking this. I read an article once about people who take Warren Buffett's advice. I'm curious about your point of view on this because it's one thing I've always wanted to ask somebody who is actually inside the system, like to understand, because it seems like he's so powerful as an individual that he can almost easily influence the direction of a company by just being affiliated with that company. I think he has gotten to the point where if he starts investing in something, people just automatically think like, yeah, that's a good investment just because he's around or he's associated with the business. And I think if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, his company actually acquires some of these companies and then direct or steer the ship towards growth. Like you don't change things, they make it grow by investing not just money, but also in leadership and community and all that. So I'm curious about, taking advice or listening to people like Warren or other people who are almost bigger than the market. I mean, nobody's bigger than the market, but they have a lot of influence in terms of the way things can move. What do you think about those kind of situations where it's not so much about the person, it's not so much about the information, it's about the person who is investing?
Okay, good. It's good that you just mentioned about Warren Buffett. Yeah, so Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett himself, they call him the Oracle of Omaha. all he does is the stock market. So just like you mentioned, he buys shares until he becomes part of the board of directors. And when he starts buying shares in a company, he sets the trend. So if you see Warren Buffett buying shares of a company, people start knowing that company is good. So people start following him. So it's like he's changing that company to a blue chip company. And look about it this way. Warren Buffett is not the one making all the decision of buying all those shares. There's somebody who is the vice chair of Berkshire Hathaway. It's called Charlie
Munger. Yeah.
You might know Charlie Munger.
Yeah.
He's the technocrat. He's the one who does the fundamental and the technical analysis before Warren Buffett is buying.
It's a very wise
That's why
man.
I always tell people, anytime you want to buy a share and you have doubt, get a second opinion from someone who is experienced. Mm-hmm. Because instead of you losing $5,000, wouldn't it be nice to check with someone and the person can say, oh, that company has a bad report. They don't have a good financial statement or income statement. And that's what I'm good in. I know how to track every company's report card, which is the financial statement. You give me any company, give me just 5 minutes, I'll give you the report card.
That is impressive.
So that's it about Warren Buffett. He sets the trend. He's not bigger than the market, but he buys shares that he can. If Warren Buffett start buying shares of your company, you have to be careful because he will pretty much own the company within a couple of years.
Yeah. And it's sometimes, I don't know how to feel about this. When I look at people like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they're pretty old, and also the got invested. I think even Warren has talked himself about how he was quote unquote lucky, to be born at that time, to get invested at that time, and to get into what he got. Because people like even Ray Dalio, I don't know if you know Ray Dalio, another guy. Yeah, of course, these are people who they're almost around the same period of they got in there early. So for somebody watching now who might think like, you yourself, you have spent 10 years inside there. Me, I'm just like a couple of months old trying to understand it. For somebody who is starting today, who has no idea, who is curious, first thing that I would say before you even answer is if you think about a long-term idea of, investing in stocks and building the wealth, if you do your research and get educated, you understand that there's so much more to this than that. But what I want to find out from you, Victor, is somebody who is completely new, a fresh mind. What would you tell them to consider before they start getting into the stock market?
Okay, that's a good point. Before you start getting into the stock market, just give me a quick second.
Okay.
Before you start getting into the stock market is first, you already mentioned the most important thing is education. Once you have your full education in the stock market, especially the defensive approach, which is risk management, financial statement, how to mitigate loss. Because the best thing about the stock market is if you keep your loss down, little or no loss, and you just keep making money like a parabola, you know how that is? It makes you feel so good. Once you already have that, the next thing is get yourself an emergency fund. There are two reasons why people lose money in the stock market. Just two reasons. The first one is little or no education, which don't even try. The next one is financial difficulties. Let's say you start investing in the stock market. Because the stock market, even though it's all that glamorous, things can turn. Things can turn.
We saw what happened in March.
You can buy a stock today for $100, and that same today it drops down to $80.
It's happened multiple times.
Which means you are down $20. If now you have a financial problem, which you don't have emergency fund, what happens? You try to take that money out. When you take that money out, you are already taking it on a loss. You see what I mean?
Basically lost money.
Fund. And I always advise people, if you're doing your 9 to 5, good and fine. The formula is that between 3 to 6 months, salary has to be kept aside for your emergency fund. That's why you see some people so comfortable in the stock market, because even if they are down, they are not even worried because they have money sitting somewhere. It's not like you carry all. I saw somebody taking all his capital and putting it in the stock market. I'm like, are you nuts? What if something happens? Your uncle is needing this, your auntie is needing something. Now you want to pull that money back. You start pulling the money out on a loss.
Plus, you paid.
People start losing money in the stock market. It discourages them. It's a mindset. It discourages you, and now you will be talking negative about the stock market. Have you heard people talk negative about the stock market?
Yeah, the people who like, no, it doesn't matter. That thing's a lie. Don't believe it. It's the people say all kinds of things about the stock market when they've not really got into it.
Yeah, that's because those people lose money. Those are the people who have lose money in the stock market, and it's how they got in. They just got in by chance, not by education.
Yeah.
And then another thing you have to consider: get a good trading platform. Trading platform also matters, because if you get one that is mandated, then you are good.
Yeah, what are some of the examples? I think you always talk about Quest Trade, TD Ameritrade. What else? Because even Robinhood recently, I read some articles about Robinhood. People are actually taking their money out of Robinhood because some issues are going on. It's not very certain what it is, but I've actually already considered moving elsewhere at this particular point. So what platform? I know you use Quest Trade on your videos. It's always there, even on your thumbnails. I always see Quest Trade there. So do you have anything to say about those platforms? I mean, first of all, they're here. You can get all those things here. And I'm plugging the book because it's a valuable book. You should go get this book, seriously, and find out more about not just the stock market. I mean, we've talked a lot about the stock market, and I think now I'm going to switch gears. Forget about the question with the trading platform. You can find in the book. I want to get your perspective on building a business or building a lifestyle that allows you to live on your own terms. Because what I'm very much interested in, what both with the YouTube channel, content creation, is that I want to get to a point where I don't need to wake up at a particular time, sit in a particular place to do a particular job. And that takes a process, education, learning, investment, and all that. So I'm curious how you would tell somebody who maybe is not considering, where they are going to be. How do you start trying to become, I don't use the term self-employed. How do you start making money? Basically, like bottom line, how do you change your mind to start looking at how to make money, both online and in the quote unquote real world?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. The secret is this. Warren Buffett said for you to become financially successful, you need at least 5 sources of income. 5. That is the least for you to be financially successful. Whatever you are passionate about or whatever drives you, you got to start. I did a video on how to start a small business. Don't keep saying procrastination, tomorrow. You got to start today and start whatever. You can start small. You can still have your job. You start small. Once you start small, you build that. From that, you can build the next one. From that, you can build the next one. It is when you realize that the income coming in surpasses your 9 to 5. That's when you can say, oh, now I can quit. And what you have to know is that there is a saying that no risk, no riches. If you are not taking risks, it's even risky if you don't take risks. Because if you don't take risks at 65, you'll be like, oh my God, why didn't I take this risk?
And there'll be nothing you can do at the time. Yeah.
So if you don't take risk, it's already risky. So you start anything small, you build it up. And most businesses will not pay you right away. They'll pay you after. It's like YouTube. YouTube is part of online business.
Yes.
Before you get 1,000 subscribers, which is difficult like hell.
And then 4,000 hours of watch time. So please keep watching my videos.
Yeah. And congratulations for your 1,000 subs.
Thank you.
So all those things takes time. It takes some people 1 year. It takes some people 2 years. I've seen people in YouTube 5 years. They have not even got 500 subscribers. So that's what happened. You just walk slowly. Don't matter. Sometimes because some people, they always set their mind that, oh, I'm going for this. They are rushing. And then when they don't see the outcome right away, what happened? They feel discouraged. And then they lay back. And they let that pass. No, if you start one business, if it's not fruitful, don't cancel the business. Let it sit there, add another one, especially when it comes to online business. Just keep adding multiple streams.
And learning.
With time, you come back and start fine-tuning. You start fine-tuning them. It's like I have my book now. Money is coming from my book. I have my course. Money is coming from my course. I was surprised monetizing YouTube.
Money is coming from YouTube.
Money is coming. Google is paying me. They're paying to my account. You know, I have affiliate market. Money is coming through affiliate market. You know, all those things.
And you also sell websites. I saw on your website you have a section where you actually have build websites, and people can buy those websites from your blogs, actually, from your website, right?
Yeah, that's the best thing. You see, all this pandemic is happening for a reason, Kamga. The world is moving towards online. And the earlier you put yourself out there, the better for you. Well, not everybody will become Jeff Bezos with Amazon e-commerce, but now things are getting open. And the foundation of an online business is a blog or a website. People were so scared before because anytime you talk about getting a website, what do they think? The recurring fees, the hosting fees, and the domain fees. So that's why I team up with some developers. You see all those websites which are selling now very fast. When you go, you see some of them are already sold.
Yeah.
Once you buy it, it's a one-time fees. There is no domain fees, no hosting fees. It's like they give you a keys of your car and you drive with it.
You never have to put any gas.
There is no expense to run all those. And the first two are e-commerce. When you look at the marketplace and you look at Fashionic, they are like, when you look at the site, it's fully loaded. It's like AliExpress. Look at it, it looks the same like AliExpress or eBay, where it already have all the windows where it's like it can take 4 boutiques. You put your shirt, trouser, everything. You can put fridges. Anything is a marketplace. And then it has a cart where you check out. It already linked to a payment gateway. So you have credit card, PayPal. So you just buy and you start selling.
That is impressive. And I am curious to find out how you come up with these ideas. Like, how do you just sit and decide, like, let me team up with some developers and then build something that people will buy? Like, do you see from somewhere? How does that happen for you? What's your process?
Okay, that's a good point. You know, anything I do is influenced by people. Anything, you see all those videos I'm doing in YouTube, it's reference. People say, Victor, do this. Just go to any of my video. I look at the comment, they say, like somebody said, Victor, can you explain to us, can you do a video how to sell on Amazon? So my next video will be Amazon affiliate and Amazon FBA. So people recommend something, that's what I do it. And when you look at my YouTube, it's all about growing wealth. It's about putting money back into people's pocket. So my concern when I did a video on how to make money with blogs and websites, some people were scared of the recurring fees. Sometimes you pay $100 a month. One, and just imagine if your blog or your website is not generating funds and you are paying that recurring fees, wouldn't you be so sad that you are paying money without money coming in?
Agreed.
I have some friends who have spaces in Shopify and they're paying all these fees without selling any product. So I said, I'm always debugging trouble, whatever problem. So I am solving problem. So that's why I came out with this idea that meet developers with a complete package with no hosting fee. When people buy this for $2.99, they will be so satisfied. I see ladies, a lot of our ladies, they are selling beauty, hairstyle, wigs, makeup. They are selling it on Instagram or Facebook Marketplace. I always tell them the backbone of an online business is to get your own website or your own blog. Look at it this way. When you rent an apartment is when you use Instagram to sell something or Facebook. They can rip off that feature at any time.
Yeah, the landlord can get upset.
If people go to Facebook, they are going to look picture. Can somebody want to buy your merchandise and you say this is the link to Facebook? They're like, I don't want to go look pictures.
No.
They want to come to your website. So all those social media platforms is like renting an apartment. When you own a blog or a website, it's like you bought your house.
Yeah.
They can kick you out of your apartment anytime, but nobody will kick you out of your house.
You can design it how you want. You can do whatever you want. You can sell anything. You can shut it down. You can put it on break. It's up to you to figure things out. So you said a couple of things about the new person. Get your education, learn from actually the right people. Don't just learn from any kind of person. And then now for somebody who is starting, you're telling them if you're going to start a business, which is one of the backbones for you to be able to grow your wealth and even start investing in the stock market, get yourself a website. And you can find those websites on Victor's channel. There'll be a link in the description. If not, you just go to VE Univers and you'll find it there, and his YouTube channel. Everything's going to be there. So for those who are watching, I just want to let you know that in a couple of minutes, we're going to start taking questions from you and sharing the comments and interacting with that, because I really wanted to, first of all, know Victor and get a better understanding of who he is, what he does, and how he ended up where he has ended up. Because now this opens up our mind to understand, like, if you're very good with math and physics, the way you look at the stock market, you will actually be excited to look at those graphs and chart things and figure out, percentage growth and all that. So there's a certain level of passion in there, which people don't realize that your passion can still translate in different ways. So it doesn't matter what you're passionate about, you can find a way to make it work, because physics and math is still related to the stock market somehow. And also the stock market is also unpredictable, like most experiments. You just, you watch, you learn, you observe, you pick it up, and you do things like that. So it's what you're sharing opens up my mind to how you ended up here. And I'm looking at how I can learn from this and realize, like, I have to educate myself. I have to ask the right people, invest in the right courses, and listen to people who are actually doing what I want to do, not just people who, are just there talking on the internet. So I have a question for you before we go to the audience question. So guys, start asking your questions. We'll be sharing them with Victor very soon. What do you think about the other YouTubers and teachers who share content about the stock market? Have you found any who you think are giving like wrong information, or who you think people should not be trusted? Because, for example, people like Graham Stephen, which somebody mentioned in the comment, we'll talk about Andre Jik that I listened to, and he's a dividend investor. He's like main dividend. He's not there to swing and all that. So I want to find out if you've come across people who are giving information that is not very helpful to new investors or just investors in general.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I haven't actually pinpointed any particular person who is giving any false or misleading information. By the way, I belong to a group of investors where we have a group of guys that we're investing on YouTube. We have people like J Mark investing, Rico Suarez investing. When you go down and you see all the description on my channel, you'll find a lot of them out there. But you see, there was a video that I did where we have Hot Talk, where I have Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, there were 4 of you on the screen. Yeah.
4 of us, yeah. And then I was telling them, sometimes I show my account to the world, because people in my communities were like Thomas. Sometimes when you tell them you make 2,000, they don't believe you. So I have to show my account. So they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, even though I mask my account number, but I have to show it, because most people, when I tell them I'm making money in the stock market, they're like, oh, Victor, come on. So some YouTubers are in the stock market, they just talk and preach, but there's nothing to link them up to.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody is different from somebody saying something and somebody who is practicing it. That's why I said I'm a practical investor. You see my account, I show my portfolio in the world. You see how I sold Nicola, 7,000 drop into my cash account. I pulled it out. So that gives people trust. However, there are people who are just talking the 4 ways of trading. You can make money by capital growth or dividend, but they never show their account. I have other couple of friends who they use Robinhood. They always show their Robinhood.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to find out from that. Like the reverse of that is, who are some of those people that you know that are providing, like you've talked about some of them already, who are providing good value for free on YouTube and other platforms? What are some of the people that you recommend that people should go and check out and watch and read?
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, so first you go to JMac Investing, JMAC. JMac Investing is my buddy Jason.
Yeah,
he's very good. You have Ryan Griffin. He's also good. He talks about Tesla all the time. Every day you go in there, he talks about Tesla. We have Gen X Investing. All these guys, they're all American. And then the irony is that they're all Americans.
Yeah, before we came, you told me that there are very few Cameroonians in Canada who talk about the stock market. Is that correct? Like you say, about 2 of you only that you know.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is just me talking about the stock market, but we also have Dr. V. Dr. V talks about health, wealth, and fitness. You might want to check her also. She's very good in physics.
I saw the channel featured on yours. Yeah, I saw some of her thumbnails, and I'm like, this is going to go somewhere.
Yeah, she's one of us, so you can also check her out. She's good in what she do.
Why do you think that's the case? Because it looks like when people go to the US, the first thing they want to do is start a YouTube channel. Do you think there's something about Canada that makes it difficult for people to want to do that? I mean, I have a friend, Sammy, who usually watches the stream, who is in Canada, who has a YouTube channel as well. But what is your own personal, like, this is not any data, it's just you. Like, what do you think is stopping people from being on YouTube, say, in Canada?
Oh, no, by the way, the people here is just they don't know that if you can go there and share your information and assist people in something, and then at the long run getting paid. Most people, very few people, even when I started YouTube, I didn't know that at one point when you create content, you get paid.
Why did you start? Why did you start YouTube?
Oh, that's a very good point. If you look at my first video, it was renovation. I renovated my basement. So I renovated my basement. I'm practical with my hands. So my basement washroom, I break it down completely. I laid down the subfloor, put in cement board, tile everything up, backsplash everything. That was my first video. When I did that video, I sent it to Dr. V and the husband. So Dr. V was the one who said, Victor, wow, this is so amazing. Why don't you put it on YouTube to help 1 or 2 people to know how to do it themselves, because it's a DIY. I'm like, okay, by then I didn't know anything. Like, I just know that I was going to YouTube for music or to watch movies. I didn't know people were personalizing their content in YouTube. So after I did that, and then I started realizing people were commenting, and then it would send a notification to my Gmail. I'm like, oh, what is this? So I was driving the other day, then my phone was making boom, boom, boom. When people were saying, oh, nice, oh, that was nice. Oh, why didn't you do it like that? Why did you use mosaic backsplash? So it was just coming in. So then I started realizing people were having interest. So I said, let me research a little bit. That's when I knew you share whatever you want, your passion in YouTube, you can help people, and the long run, you can make something out of it. And then the way I look at YouTube, it's not about the money that YouTube is paying. I don't even look at the money when it comes to my bank account. It is that YouTube is an international or a worldwide business platform. It's like a business card. You know how you do your business card, AMGA, marketing director? YouTube is my business card. People are taking my course from YouTube. They look at my YouTube video, they notice I have a course. Then they send me a message that, Victor, I need your course. And I said, this is where you can go to get my course.
And just the invoice dropping in.
Invoice dropping in, yeah. Like a lady in Montreal just said, I look at you and you were so authentic. I had an interview with the Diaspora channel, Kehi. So
Yeah.
she watched the video, and the way I talked about the stock market, she's like, she has spent like $5,000. She also took Robert Kiyosaki's course before, workshop that she took, because Robert Kiyosaki now is like a franchise. People can just use the name, but they do it themselves. So she went there and she didn't get any information. So she met me there. I'm like, yeah, you can come to my workshop. And bam, she come to my workshop. She is so satisfied. And then anyone who takes my workshop, I now put you into a WhatsApp group, which is called Growing Wealth Education, where we have now smart people who brainstorm each company moving each day. And now she doesn't even have to research company, because the people will research it.
Just drop in there.
They will even give you the financial report, and you just have to buy it. So she's so happy. That's just an example.
That is amazing, man. This is not only
it's a well business class, well business card.
It's impressive what you've been able to do, coming to Canada, picking up from where you left after teaching in high school, learning in French, learning physics and math in French. You move to this country that speaks English and French. You learn, you grow, you move up the ladder. You learn about, hear about investing. You attend Robert Kiyosaki's first one, then you talk to him, get that click, and you start learning about mutual funds and learning about the stock market, to the point where 10 years later, almost 15 years later, I don't know, you are now in a position where you're teaching other people and sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge. And I think that is incredible, because there are very few people, or actually there are many, but it's difficult to come across people who win and are like, come, let's win together. People usually just want to win and just keep it for themselves, and that's really good. So thank you for what you're doing already. I think that's why.
That's a very good point, because I like to see people happy. I don't know, for some reason I like seeing people be happy, especially when it comes to finance. I really don't like seeing people being broke, to be honest with you. And there are easy ways of making money with your smartphone. Just like you said,
let's talk about some of those things. What are some easy ways people can make money now? I mean, it's right here, so you can get it. But yeah, let's just talk about it.
Okay, good. Some of the easiest way people can make money right now, start with what you have in you. What you have in you. The first thing is create an online course. Online education is a multi-million-dollar industry, my friend. Get into online education. Anything that you know, like now you know about marketing, just do a course about marketing. You can talk about the different levels of marketing. You can decide to sell it in different platforms. There's Teachable, there's Udemy. You can put it any amount you want, $25. And what is it? It's just a combination of PDF and video. The same thing you're doing on YouTube. So spread it out. If you are good in whatever, Microsoft Excel, you can do Excel. You can do PowerPoint. Ladies who are good in cooking, cupcake, you can do how to make a cupcake. Golf, you can do how to drive a golf ball. Anything you can do. You can do how to knit clothes.
Yeah.
You can do everything. I see that you are good in graphic designing. It looks like, because you told me the other day, Victor, look, if this is good, if it's not good, I'm going to change something. So I know you are good in graphic. You do a course in graphic designing and you sell it. As easy as that. And it's all online. You just have to link it to your account and money keeps coming in. We call it the drip.
The first easiest method, do an online course. Can you give two more methods, two more ways that you can do? Yeah.
Two more ways is affiliate marketing. This is the easiest, and this is what is making Jeff Bezos a millionaire right now. You know what is affiliate marketing?
But for those I do. But for those who don't know, it'd be great to get an explanation.
Affiliate marketing is selling other people's product for the commission. Marketing, when I did a video how to start a small business, the MVP of a business is marketing and sales skill. I don't say go and do marketing or skills, but the best skill to have. Try to develop it slowly, high skill sales. Sell other people's product. People create products and they don't know how to sell it. And some of them give you 60% and they take 40% for you to sell their product. And with affiliate marketing, you can sell anything. I met one of my friends, is like, you know what? My dream was to own a Mercedes-Benz. I'm like, really? I'm like, then why don't you contact them that you want to be an affiliate, and you might buy your first Benz 20% off when you're an affiliate, because they give you a commission. Every company now in this world, in the modern days, have an affiliate. Go to Home Depot, just scroll down to their website, you'll see Home Depot Associate. Go to Amazon, Amazon Associate. And with the affiliate, it's good to have a website or a blog. Just like when you go, I am still selling Amazon stuff on my website.
Yeah.
So all they do is they give you a link. When somebody use that link and buy something, they track it, they know it comes from you. And anytime within 24 hours, if they use your link, it uses what is called cookies. You can still make money. And guess what? They don't only have to come to buy that thing. If they change their mind and buy any other thing, you make money. So with affiliate marketing, there is no inventory. You don't have to keep anything in your inventory. You don't have to make any checkout. You don't have to receive any money. You are just sleeping and money is coming. All you have to do is promote. Again.
I'm curious, do you have an affiliate partnership for your course? Because I'll definitely want to put an affiliate link in this video for those who want to buy the course.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yes, I do. Kehi has one of the affiliate. Yeah. So yeah, I can give you an affiliate of, in short, I can give you an affiliate of most of my stuff. So when you track it down, you can get and that's another good thing. Right now, we need affiliate partners so we can expand.
That is awesome. Man, that's two ways: online courses, affiliate marketing, and what's the last one?
Okay, the last one I will turn it into. Let me just do two more.
Okay.
I want people to really understand something. There is freelancer. You might have heard about freelancer.
Yeah, freelancer.
Again, whatever you know, whatever is your passion. We are bilingual. We come from a country where we speak two languages.
Yeah.
There are online platforms where you just go in to translate for people and you make money. You register, translation job comes, they send it to you, you make money. You are already good in English language. There are people in Pakistan, Iran, they are not so good in English. They will do some video. They also have blogs and websites, but they know English is the most international language. So they want you to just fine-tune it. They pay you and then they put it on their blogs or their website. So you have all those, that's freelancing. Freelancing is also, it's a huge industry, multi-million-dollar industry. Use what you have to make it, what you already have. I just gave two examples, English and French translation. Whatever you know, again, graphic design. Just like, you see my book, I designed the book, but when I wanted the promo, where I have the spine, I went to a site to get someone to spin the book to have a spine. Guess what? The designer was in Lagos, Nigeria, and I paid him in Canadian dollars. I paid him $50 to do that for me.
That is the thing that I want to actually clarify and get your take on, because a lot of these ideas that we talk about, for example, the big one is affiliate marketing. In the WhatsApp group, there was a time when I was giving this whole lecture and telling people you can become an affiliate from anywhere in the world because all these companies have affiliate programs. So I want to find out from you, do you personally know anybody, or have you seen situations where people who are in Cameroon, like this guy in Nigeria was able to do it from Nigeria? Like, do you think a lot of these strategies can work from anywhere in the world, or do you have to be in a country that is like the US or Canada?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point. So they have their terms and conditions. Some of them have areas where they don't operate, which is true. Like Amazon affiliate will not operate in Cameroon, of course, you know that. But what do? People who are there can create their information. You know how it works. Some people can use their uncle, their brothers' information.
It's like a family business.
Information in the Western world and create it. All they have to do is buy, then it will pass through that account and get to their account. So it's just like YouTube is not applicable in some countries, but people in that country, they are YouTube content creator because they use someone else's address somewhere, which, I mean, to me is not advisable, but people use different ways of doing that. And
like you said,
affiliate market, just make sure you check the terms and condition and go with the terms and condition.
Like you said, no risk, no reward, because there are people who are able to make it from Cameroon who are successful and building Oh man, it's a lot of things, and I'm hoping to bring some of them on the channel to talk about it. So I'm going to go through some of the comments here, and we'll just react to them. And if anybody has a question, if you're watching, you can drop your questions now for Victor. His book is available on Amazon. I'm going to be giving one copy away to somebody here randomly for you to learn. So if you have any question, actually, if you ask a good question, that might be the reason why you get the copy. So go on ahead, ask a question, and we have. Mutombo was here. She said Victor's story is interesting. I think she's still watching. When in the beginning, when you're talking about your journey, and she's also an engineer, so I'm sure she was like, "That's like my brother in arms."
Oh yeah, I know
yeah.
Mutombo.
Yeah.
I read she's in South Africa and she's doing masters in telecom. I'm like, wow, this lady is smart. Yeah.
Yep. I used to love. I enjoy watching her vlogs where she shares her day and everything. And then we have World and Passion says I can relate to that story. Probably it was a story when studying in French, when you actually were learning English. I guess that's the part where World and Passion was talking about that. And Queen T was talking about, oh, this is interesting. Thanks for bringing Victor over. And thank you, Victor, for coming. I know you're a busy man, and there's so many things that you could be trading right now, but you're talking to me. So I'm very, very happy that you're able to do this for us today. Yep. Yes, the book is ready. I got the book. About the book, Victor wanted to actually send me a copy of the book, but before he had the time to say, "Come, let me send you a copy," I already bought my copy. So support your own. Go and buy the book.
You were so fast. I was still in the point of promoting the book.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, let me send you a copy so you can go through. I like before I come onto your show for you to have, like a glance of it, but you're like, oh, Victor, I already got one. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, I liked
you're one of those first people who bought it, and I'm like, there is somebody there admiring my work. I just launched it today and somebody bought it the next day, so you were one of those.
Yes, definitely. When I see something that I like, I don't hesitate. When it comes to books, if you see, my house is empty. I don't have shoes, clothes, jewelry, none of that. Books and courses, that's where all my money goes. And my gear, except camera gear is so expensive, so I have to wait for months before saving. And hopefully the stock market will give me that money to buy my things. But yeah. So this is Mutombo said, why go to college if you're already making enough money? Sounds a lot like Graham Stephan. Yes, Graham Stephan is a YouTuber who talks about money, and he shares his numbers, and he's walking the talk. He's one of those guys who millennial, young, talking about money, educating people. So he has a huge following, I think, about people like that. Parifoot. Yes, I played Parifoot and I lost. And yeah. This is what Queen T said. Good question, guys. Sometimes risky putting all your eggs in one basket, even though it seems to be successful. Victor, do you want to riff a little bit about, diversifying your investments? Something just to get people to understand a little better, because what Queen T is saying is actually true.
Yeah, that is what she said really makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's why you see, even though I'm in the stock market, I'm still in real estate. I belong to a group called Cameroon Canadian Investment Group, where we
talk about that. Yeah,
we buy real estate from developers, and then we sell. We hold it for some time, we sell. So try to put yourself in a position where you have multiple streams coming in, and that makes you feel good, because sometimes your salary comes in and you don't. Have you ever slept and then your salary comes in 3 or 4 days and you don't even know your salary came in? That means.
It means you don't even need the salary anymore. It's like you're at the point where you could actually do without it, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that means you are almost getting to that point. You're almost getting to that point. If you can still toggle all together, good and fine. But if you get to the point where you know your investment are paying you, then why not? And that's why you see people like Warren Buffett, they are still working. They are retired into. You can see Warren Buffett 80 years over and he's still working. He retired in his company. So if you get up in your living room, you're still there, right?
Yeah.
So it's your living room. So you retired in your living room.
But you still have to walk around. And that's the point. I think people miss the point about money, is that money is supposed to, you use money to buy your freedom. It's not so much about the money, they're trying to hoard and have money. It's more like, how can you get back your time and do the things that you care about, hanging out with your family, following your passions. Like somebody that I really admire a lot, his name is MJ DeMarco. He's an entrepreneur and author, and he writes a lot about the mindset that is required to build businesses. And something that he talks about is you're building all these businesses, making all this money so that you can actually do the thing that you want to do. People flip it, they do the reverse. They're like, no, I'm passionate. But then passion doesn't pay bills. Your rent will still be there. Your landlord doesn't care whether you're passionate or not. So There's that. And going to school also helps you to meet great people. Character is everything, and we learn good character in a school environment. It's not only about the money, so it's always good to go to school. Rita, I disagree. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll talk about it in a different video. But Victor, what do you think about Rita's comment?
Oh, that comment, I think it's a good point.
Okay.
Education gives you the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Education gives you the confidence of knocking every door. You know where we came from, right? Where we came from, if somebody have a degree and you don't have a degree, can you two sit in the same platform?
Nope.
It's not like here where it doesn't matter here. But back there, the city where I came from, Limbe, Victoria, people with degree, you have advanced level, you don't sit in the same platform. So, but if you are already par with them, it gives you that courage to integrate. It's just like you have an advanced level and you are giving a presentation to degree holders. You know how panic you get? No, just imagine.
You get intimidated.
Like, all these people are smarter than me. You get intimidated. But if you are on that level, you're like, hey, we're all in the same pot soup.
And I mean, my point of view on this, I'll probably have to do like a whole separate video, is that confidence comes from knowing something very well. And education and school can help you do that. There are people who are skilled and who are able to explain those skills, who are very confident, who did not go to college. Of course, there's always, the exception to the rule and all that, and that alone can be a whole other video. So we'll not talk much about it, but I'm sure that I'll do a video in the future talking more to share that. So Rita, stay tuned. I'm going to give you an answer about this whole college situation. And yeah, Domin and I went to college together. We did biochemistry for a year. Domin says Victor is very sincere. And thanks, man. Good content, Kamwa. Thank you. And you see, what you were talking about, that somebody watched you the way you were talking about these things, I was able to invest in your cause. That's something that people fail to realize. Like, speak your truth, be authentic, and people connect with you at that level. And
that's the thing about business, and especially online business. Yeah. Online business, people don't meet you. There is no face-to-face contact. But you have to be trustworthy and authentic. Let your word be your word. If you tell somebody today, oh, this shirt is $12, and then after the person has already sent the amount of money and you said, oh no, it was supposed to be $14, but you have to be authentic. Yeah. And Jeff Bezos said, let your customer spread the news. Your customers are the one that will spread your news. It's just like my workshop. I don't do any really promotion. It's people who have taken the workshop. They're telling their friends. People are calling me everywhere after the $7,000 that I made.
Yeah.
Because now they saw it, like they're calling me everywhere that, oh, my friend gave you a number. When can we? I'm like, okay, the next session is starting in a month's time. Just give me an information. I will send you the prerequisite.
Yeah. That is amazing, man. It's impressive to see people like you doing, like, there's this person, I love Gary Vaynerchuk and I watch his content a lot. And what he always says is, if somebody who looks like you is able to make it, then you have no excuse. And it's important for me to find people, Cameroonians especially, who are able to do this thing, because it then removes that idea of you only have to be a particular kind of person to talk about money or to invest. So what you're doing, I'm sure you have an idea, but you have no idea how important it is to see people like you sharing this kind of information. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Gary Vee is my man. Gary Vee is a marketer. Gary Vee is somebody who can be moving on the street and you'll be like, hey, do you want to buy my book? Pay me anytime, take it.
You can pay me later, it's fine. Yeah. Or give it to a friend.
He's the one who he gives a lot of, especially in online media, he gives a lot of people that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it, just go out there.
I've been continuously.
The fun is that people want you to succeed. Most of the time, we are on this irony like, oh, my neighbor don't want me to succeed. No, a lot of people want you to succeed. So just get it in your mind that there's nothing that can hold you back. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Several sources of income is a key to long-term financial success. Yes, agree, word and passion. Good knowledge shared here. Thank you, Rita. And if you're watching and you're liking this, please do share. Hit that share button. Have more people watching this. I think more people should learn about making money, because then everybody gets happy and we can do what we want. And so, yeah, so Rita has a question. She asks, she says, last word of advice to a stock market amateur. You did talk about getting education and also talk about talking with people who are actually practicing, who are financially educated. So is there anything else you want to add about that, or have I completely missed the point of somebody who is an amateur who wants to get into the stock market, what would you say to them if they were listening to this right now, which I'm sure Rita is?
Okay, so just like I mentioned before, get an education. Second, emergency fund.
Yeah.
Choose a nice broker. Then start what is called, start small. They call it baby step. You see, the stock market is something practical. Stock market is not, that's why you see I have some friends who are financial planners and accountants. They are coming to me to take the course. Why? Stock market is not economics. It's not finance. It's not going to do definition. It is practical. So you start small. Start with like even $50. The companies, the shares that you buy, you will look at the market and you see the trend.
Yeah.
The shares behave. You see how shares behave. Like now, when I go to the stock market, I tell people I don't buy IPO. I buy SPAC because I know why SPAC. SPAC comes with a lot of millions. So as you are doing slowly, Robin Hood said what? Money masters the game. So you start slowly and then you grow with time. So from $50, you move to $100, you move to $300, you grow slowly. And then if you want to fund your account, you can do what is called dollar cost averaging. You are in marketing, you want to come across dollar cost averaging.
No, actually, I haven't. Yeah. What was it?
Where each month you can just say, okay, from my checking account, I put $50. It drops into your
yeah.
every month it comes
recurrent deposits. Just send them directly there. Yeah.
Yes, so you don't even feel that impact like you are taking 5,000 from your savings account somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when money comes from your checking account without even touching down on your savings account, how it feels? It feels like the money was not even there.
Yep. And Ramit, I don't know if you know Ramit Sethi. You probably know Ramit Sethi. He teaches a lot about I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Is a book that he wrote about money, 401ks, investment, and all that. And he also talks a lot what he just said about setting up those accounts such a way that as the money enters, it just goes directly to where it wants to go. It's something that he talks a lot about. Where even when you're doing your savings, you can save for particular things. For example, Ally Bank, which I'm not an affiliate of, you can get an account where you can set up different portions. Like this percentage, when you put here, 10% goes here to this, 10% goes to that, 20% goes to this. So before the money even comes into your account, you already have set it up and you leave it. So it works, the system works for you. Something that people can actually do.
Yeah, that's a very good strategy when it comes to investment.
Awesome. Well, Rita, I hope that explains, a lot. If not, I think this book is an amazing way to start. And I've plugged it so many times, I'm starting to feel bad about it. But it's because the book is good. It's that good. I think it's something that you should check out. I had my own issues with the book, but mostly at the level of, because I'm a writer, I was like, okay, I wish I could proofread and edit and all that. But all in all, the value and the content in it is so amazing that you just jump past those things. And I'm sure you make more editions anyway. This is not like your last book. I have faith that you're probably working on the next one already. So yeah, looking forward to it as well. Akanji was here. She said, hey, and hi, and Gary's the best. We'll talk about Gary V. So yeah, Rita is here. She's watching. So she says thank you. She appreciates that. So you see, Rita, you might want to take the course. You might want to buy the book. Something. Victor, is there anything else that you would like to share with us? Something that I did not ask that you were expecting me to bring up? This is a good time to any last words or anything like that.
Okay, I also wanted to say, I already told you guys that this pandemic is happening for a reason. Everything is going online. The earlier you take advantage, the better. There is also something that is called online services, which will be booming soon. It's like drop shipping. You are a nurse or you are an accountant, you're an IT guy, you're a marketing guy. You do a consulting site. You can sell some product at one section, and one section people can be consulting with you. That's online service. All you have to do is a middleman between clients, and then you provide the service. Last but not the least, e-commerce. E-commerce is something that you can, if you are already online, which means you probably have followers and you have fans. You see, to be online is not easy. Not everybody can be in front of the camera. Yeah. Not everybody can be in front of the camera. So if you're already online, you have followers up to 1,000 subscribers, it means people like you. Because for you to get 1,000 subscribers,
it's not easy. It's not
so now you can extend that to a business. When you start e-commerce, You start selling small stuff. With time, it is expanding. Not everybody will become Jeff Bezos overnight, but put yourself out there so you reap the fruit before it becomes saturated. Because everything in life at one point becomes saturated. And in our community, we don't have that much. I still see people selling dresses on WhatsApp. I'm like,
just
they're selling dresses through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So make yourself authentic. When you go out there and people say, where can I get your product? And you are like, this is the link to my website. They're like, wow. But if you say, oh, this is my WhatsApp.
Let me send you the pictures. Let me send you the price. Like, DM me for price. That's one of the things that people do. That I'm like, do you even want to sell, or you just no? They should come and see the price there and decide that they want to buy it or not, just directly. Yeah.
And then one last thing I want to tell people. When the first person who bought my book, you know what I was expecting? Because on YouTube I was talking a lot about investing, real estate, stock market. I was thinking the person will jump straight to chapter 4, chapter 5. But what happened? The person went back to the last chapter, how to write a book. And then the person called me up. This is not like, the person called me up that, so can you actually publish, can Amazon, like an online platform, publish your book without you going through a traditional publisher where you pay $5,000 for publishing? I'm like, that is what I just did.
The book you're holding in your hand, that's how it happened. You did it.
All I did was I wrote the manuscript, sent it to Amazon, and Amazon published it. They take what is called their royalty, I take mine. Now I can take it now to any publisher and say, publish exactly this copy. So I didn't pay $4,000 for traditional publisher.
Yeah.
Imagine you have not even started selling a book.
You're already doing on a deficit.
That's the shortcut that I'm trying to tell people. Take shortcut when it comes to growing well. Take the shortcut.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
I know you are planning to write a book. Take that into consideration.
Definitely.
I should. Amazon. In my book, I list like 4 other platforms that will publish your book for you, and then they take their own royalty.
Yeah, I should have published books a long time ago, and I'm actually working on that and building my own website myself. Like, what you're saying makes so much sense to me, because I have all these skills that I have that I just have. Like, I have a lot of skills that most people don't realize, that things that I just do for fun. I just go and take these courses and learn these things, and then when I'm done, I'm like, that was nice. But I could actually still be making money from them. So we're going to work on that. Akanji says the day she discovered KDP, she was so elated. Yes, it's Kindle Direct Publishing. It's a
exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot. So Victor, thank you for this. I really appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me. I know there is a lot that we did not talk about, but I'm happy because first, there is the book here, Growing Wealth Passively, Understanding the Strategies of Making Passive Income Step by Step, including graphics that you can get on Amazon right now. You can get it on Kindle. You can actually get it within the next 5 minutes if you want. I think it's about $7-8 on Kindle. You can get it now. That's with taxes. And then you can also buy the hard copy. So you can do those too. And then the links and the course and everything is going to be in the description. So we're going to put all of that. You can check it out. And even if you don't want to use any money, you're like, oh, these people are just talking. They want to sell books. They want to sell courses. His YouTube videos are there. They are free. Go and watch. So you can do anything that works for you. So I really appreciate all you guys. Akanji, thank you for being here. Rita, I really appreciate you. I'm happy that you asked the question. And so for the winner, I'm going to actually announce the winner. You know who the winner is going to be? It's going to be Rita. So Rita, yes, I just picked you randomly. Actually, I didn't pick you randomly because you asked a question and your question was nice. So Rita, I am going to be sending you a copy of the book. I hope you're not in Cameroon because that'll be difficult for me to do. But if you're if you're out of the country, please send me an email. Anyway, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Send me an email, and then I'll have we'll talk, and then I'll have the book. So you're the winner of the copy that I wanted to do. This is not Victor. Victor did not have me do this. I just feel like I want to start doing this actually on a regular basis on my channel, giving people the information and the tools that they need. So Rita, reach back to me. Get in touch with me. Let's get you this copy. All right, let's do this. So. What's this? Actually, I have a chat book online. She has a book online. I actually do have a book. We'll talk about book publishing, and hopefully I'm going to bring somebody. But Victor, thank you. I don't want to keep you any longer. So guys, the live is going to be ending now, and we'll see you in the next video.
Okay.